Today is October 13th, the 5th year anniversary of the passing of revered King Bhumibol Adulyadej. It's a public holiday across Thailand as Thais commemorate the 70-year reign of Rama IX. You're watching Thailand Top Stories with me, Natty, from the Thaiger. Today's major news in Thailand and around the region. Stay tuned for a quick update on the COVID-19 situation in Thailand, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. As state agencies gear up for the reopening, Thai MPs vow to reopen the country to fully vaccinated tourists from November 1st. Concerns over public health safety have been raised by some medical experts. The PM announced on Monday night his wishes to get Thailand open again on November 1st, saying that travelers could come from up to 10 low-risk countries quarantine-free as long as they were fully vaccinated and had a test before they headed to Thailand. PM Prayut said that several other countries, including Singapore, have already announced their reopening, and the EU, UK, and the US have already reopened. He noted there is a competition to attract tourists to countries that rely heavily on tourism, and said that if Thailand was going to continue imposing quarantine, they won't be able to compete well with other countries. He expressed his hope that the November 1st reopening plan will attract a large number of tourists between this year's final quarter and the first quarter of 2020. The TAT and the Public Health Department are now working on the final list of what they describe as low-risk countries that Thailand will admit from November 1st. As we said yesterday, the proposals have not yet been approved, and the Thaiger will bring you all the latest at thethaiger.com. Thai police are cracking down on street racing, and the Deputy National Police Chief says that since the start of this year, thousands of street racers have been faced charges. And not just the racers themselves, but tens of thousands of parents have also faced charges because their children were involved in the racing. Police are even handing out 3,000 baht thank yous to people making a report about street racing, and the information leads to an arrest. Officers have confiscated over 320,000 motorcycles and motorbikes that were used in illegal racing. More than 3,000 street racers have been charged with violating the country's Traffic Act, and more than 1,000 bike shops have been charged for doing illegal modifications. But a staggering 40,000 parents have been charged with violating the Child Protection Act for letting their children participate in illegal street racing, either as racers or as spectators. Across Thailand, over 1.2 million people have been charged with traffic violations this year, according to the World Health Organization. The traffic conditions in Thailand are the worst in Southeast Asia and among the most dangerous in the world. They report that around 20,000 people die in road accidents in Thailand each year, about 56 people per day. Now we'll have to tread lightly through the next story due to the YouTube censors, so bear with me here. Adult pleasure toys and sexual enhancement drugs have been seized by Thai police in a series of raids around Greater Bangkok. Thai media reports that a Thai husband and Vietnamese wife were arrested allegedly for importing the products illegally. Officers held a press conference complete with plenty of quiet giggles from the media as police solemnly displayed the seized items, including boxes of plastic versions of men's and ladies' private parts, along with pills, potions, and gels sold to enhance the participants' pleasure. The police claimed the seized contraband was valued at a total of 500,000 baht. While adult toys and medications are sold openly on the street in Thailand in popular red light districts, the products are not regulated by the Thai Food and Drug Administration and are illegal. Since there's no consumer protection, selling the unregulated products are considered to pose a potential health risk. The Thai-Vietnamese couple have allegedly been importing the products into Thailand's northeast region and selling them online for the past 2 years. The TAT is planning to celebrate the country's grand reopening to international travelers by inviting Lalisa from Blackpink and Andrea Bocelli to perform in a massive event later this year, in which the TAT Governor Yuttasak Supason says the event is still in the planning phases. The Federation of Thai Industries chairman, Supan Mongkol Suthi, previously mentioned Thailand should invite Blackpink's Thai singer Lisa to be a tourism ambassador and has started conversations with her management in South Korea. He noted that inviting Andrea Bocelli, a famous Italian opera tenor and the K-pop superstar, to perform would require a major investment by the government and private sector. The TAT flagged Phuket as a potential destination for the New Year countdown event. Regionally, China is setting up a 1.5 billion yuan fund, that's around 230 million US dollars, to finance efforts to protect biodiversity, a move regional experts say will help address gaps in funding green efforts. Chinese President Xi Jinping made the announcement during the UN conference on biodiversity. He said the funds would go towards developing nations and called for contributions from other countries. India is now recommending emergency use of the locally produced Bharat Biotech's COVID-19 vaccine shot in children below 12 years of age, making the vaccine maker the first in the country to get such an approval after a review of its trial data for the 2 to 18-year-old age group. The decision comes as India shifts its focus to vaccinate children against COVID, having already rolled out more than 950 million doses to adults among its population of nearly 1.4 billion. Australia's state of New South Wales could ease more restrictions in Sydney a week earlier than planned as Australia's most populous state races towards its 80% double-dose vaccination target. The southeastern state is expected to hit the mark over the weekend, beating forecasts, and officials previously promised to relax further restrictions on vaccinated residents on the first Monday after reaching that milestone. Retail stores, pubs, and gyms will allow more vaccinated people when inoculation reaches the 80% mark. Mandatory masks will not be required inside offices, and nightclubs can reopen for seated drinking, while weddings can have unlimited guests. Now, just before we go today, let's take a quick look at the COVID-19 situation here in Thailand. Today, the CCSA has announced 10,064 new infections, 118 of those from Thai prisons, along with another 3,498 probable infections from ATK tests. There's been 82 deaths. Nearly 11,000 patients were also released from care in the past 24 hours. And that wraps up the COVID-19 update. For more news on Thailand, go to thetiger.com or check out Thailand News Today.